Hello, everyone. The breaking news then is Liverpool have officially accepted a bid from Al Hilal for Uruguayan striker Darwin Nunez. Yes, Liverpool's number 9 will head over to Germany now to have his medical. Al Hilal have a training camp over there. So, yeah, a relatively short trip to him to, it seems, finally complete. A move that has been protracted, I guess, all summer long. We know that Liverpool rejected a bid from one of the other PIF clubs in January for apparently more money than they're accepting for this one, which is an interesting discussion point, which we'll pick up on in a moment. But yeah, it will bring to an end the 3-year spell. The Darwin Nunez, the Nunez era at Liverpool Football Club. So before we delve into it, what are your thoughts and reactions to this? From my perspective, interesting, I think expected. When Diaz secured his move the other week, it felt very much like this has been a pathway, that Diaz and Darwin were going to be the main sort of assets moved on in Liverpool's attacking rebuild. Now, does this lead to a further knock-on effect of Liverpool going back in for Alex Isak, or perhaps moving on to Bradley Barcola, who we've seen linked, or someone like Rodrigo? Time will tell on that, but obviously we've seen the wheels began to get more strongly in motion once Luis Diaz's move had gone, and it felt, if that was the case, that Liverpool were pretty confident they were going to get a deal for Darwin sorted, of course, and you could see it in his reaction. Obviously scored a goal at the weekend. Nice to give him that sort of fitting send-off, really, but all very sort of, emotional and touching the badge and, not being particularly sort of, not very Darwin, actually, was it, in terms of his reaction. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. The Athletic have put an article out. We've seen, obviously, David Ornstein was talking about this yesterday. James Pearce, our good friend James Pearce, formerly of The Echo, of course, long time now of The Athletic, put this article out. They're saying Darwin Nunez set to undergo medical at Al Hilal after they agreed a fee of €53 million plus bonuses with the Saudi Pro League outfit for the Uruguayan striker. As mentioned, he's been given permission by Liverpool to travel to Germany, where they're based for a training camp. It says that he'll end his 3-year stay. He arrived for €75 million in 2022. And again, just to reiterate that point, the 26-year-old came close to leaving in January, but Liverpool rejected an approach from Al Nassr as they prioritise winning the league, which I think we could all agree was the right thing to do. There's a little mention in this a little bit further down that, they rejected a bid for the forward in January worth around €70 million, which is interesting because, that's would have been a significant recoup of the money that they actually spent, whereas when you consider that they're talking now about it being €53 million plus bonuses, that could be 15 to 20 million euros, what, 10 million plus quid for the I guess the privilege of keeping him for the rest of the Premier League campaign. And in your opinion then, in the comments, was that a worthwhile move? We got to see a few more extra moments of Darwin madness. So it's not my money, so I'm kind of glad that we did get to do that. It is obviously part of a wider rebuild, and if you're looking at that, then it means that between him and Diaz, you're looking at in excess of 100 million that they've raised, which is the vast majority of what they're looking to bid towards Alexander Isak as well. Obviously, we know a 110 million pounds plus add-ons bid has already been tabled. You would suspect that they will go back with a little bit more in the coming days. Obviously, so much we're seeing about that is hinged on Newcastle apparently getting someone in. Sesko looked very much like the one. Now it looks very much like Manchester United are sneaking into Gazumbdat. We did a great chat on the Bias Transfer podcast this week, the clip of which I think is out on Redmen too. Now of why on earth would you choose Man United over Newcastle? Please feel free to answer that question very briefly again in the comments. But it is a very, very interesting move indeed. Joseph here says, here we go. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a big old summer for Fabrizio Romano, hasn't it? For the Romano Meister. Ethsham Ul Hassan says, does this mean that Isak is through the door? No. But so it's a very, very interesting point because again, I've been doing some writing on my Substack in the last couple of weeks, kind of trying to figure out what Liverpool are doing or whatever in the transfer market. And I don't... Jarell Quansah and Diaz and now Darwin Nunez are a bit counter to the really good transfer work that Liverpool have been doing so far. And by that, what I mean is they've been getting in what they needed to get in. They got the essentials. So we knew they really needed to sort the fullback areas out. So obviously they were boxed. Florian Wirtz was someone that they really, really wanted to make happen. So they went and made it happen. But the sales of Quansah, Diaz, and again now Darwin, that is making problems for the squad, because if you just kept those players now, Liverpool would have an absolutely brilliant, almost complete squad. A squad that could be improved upon theoretically, but right now it remains in theory because Liverpool are short on centre-backs, and now we're very, very short in the attacking areas when you consider it, our senior attacking options. Now, Liverpool's best front three is Cody Gakpo, Hugo Ekitike, and Mohamed Salah on the right, with Chiesa as the understudy to that, and obviously Rio and Gamoa and Ben Doak. But question, is that a stronger or weaker attacking, set of attacking, options or whatever since from last season? Weaker, I think is fair. I mean, unless Rio and Gamoa continues his promise of being the next, Yamal, that would be great. But yeah, so going back to it in terms of SM's question, does it mean he's through the door? No, but it does mean that someone's going to have to come through the door, and I think Liverpool will therefore accelerate their interest in Alexander Isak. They'll have to, but if not, again, we're seeing a couple more rumours for the forward players, and look, there might even be something that. They've had a proper look now at Ekitike in training on a day-to-day basis, and they might just think, he's great. We actually don't need someone else who's the lead-the-line guy. Maybe we want to get someone who's a bit more versatile that can play across the front. I do wonder whether we maybe do need two more for the attack, though. What are your thoughts? If Liverpool got Isak and a centre-half now, between now and the end of the transfer window, preferably in the next, 7 to 10 days. Do you think that would be Liverpool done? Would you be happy with that of Liverpool done? Because that would leave us with just Gakpo, Ekitike, Isak and Salah, which is probably the best, with Wirtz behind, it's probably the best attack on the planet. But when you consider we had 6 last season, It is very, very interesting. Thank you to everyone who's complimenting the top as well. I have to say that the credit would go to Adidas for this one, who sent us over a big box of stuff to review the other week, and I have firmly pinched this before Dan could get his hands on it. So yeah, thank you. Okay, let's see what we got. Just another follow-up on from Ethsham, actually, talking about Darwin. He said he had so much potential, just wrong league. Wish him well. See, and I'm not even convinced it's the wrong league. I just think it was the wrong time for Liverpool. Maybe even the wrong manager. There is a point to be made that in his 3 seasons, in his first 2 seasons, you were seeing incremental improvement in goals and assists from Darwin. Last season, it dropped off. Different manager. If Klopp had remained, would we have seen more out of Darwin? We'll never know. It's a question for science fiction writers, but it's possible. I do wonder whether there are... I really thought there was just such an obvious handover with Newcastle there. And maybe Darwin just didn't want it. Maybe Newcastle weren't interested. But I could see him at a club like that, like playing on the shoulder, having lots of things geared towards him, scoring loads of goals, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, so yeah, it's interesting. Liam says, "Have you got those trainers on as well?" No, they're my ones. I figured they'd look better on the set than getting wrecked on my feet. I see Steve is currently tooling around. I don't know whether he's gone Turkey or whatever it is, and looking damn good in them as well. Lee says, I'm pleased for Darwin and wish him well. Bon voyage, Captain Chaos. Yeah, I mean, there is something to that. We've had brilliant times with him. He's played a significant part in Liverpool winning silverware, and the recapturing the Premier League title as well. So, there are people who've left great Liverpool sides in the past who've done similar or less, who are considered legends. It'll be interesting to see how he's thought of in the future. I think the good thing is he managed to maintain so much positivity among Liverpool's fans, even when he was he reached the point where he was probably doing in the heads of even his most ardent supporters, and that made this summer probably not the worst time to kind of cut our ties with him, to be honest. But it is. Yeah, it is an interesting one because I posited on the podcast this week, on the Originals podcast with Dan and Ben, whether he was worth just keeping. Because if you couldn't get Isak over the line, you've already signed Ekitike, you might as well keep Darwin. And that goes back to the notion of, I don't think you do this unless Liverpool are confident they can get someone else really good. I know we've been in situations in years gone by when we've really done ourselves in the transfer market. And I think back to like the failed move for Clint Dempsey once upon a time, and you know, not getting a left back in when Milner played left back, and you know, there's been a handful of those over the years. I think we've got smart people running the shop, so I can't imagine they're going to leave us short long term. But yeah, we'll have to see on that one. Someone say me up front. No, not. Always wished it. Never my skill set. Stu Whisby's got it right. Fifth choice goalkeeper. Sounds about right for me, to be perfectly honest. Gooch Trembler. Wow. Your own or someone else's. Who knows? There is a player in there, and I think we will see that further down the line. No way in hell Isak is worth 3 times Darwin. No way. If we buy a striker that doesn't make you want to absolutely rip your own eyes out 4 times a football match, I would pay 10 times. Because as much as I've enjoyed those moments of Darwin madness, it's not even me. It's actually, a lot of the times, it's the people around you who are even more done in by it. So I have to contend with not only keeping my own emotions in check, it's when everyone else, you know, keeping your head when all those around you are losing theirs is very, very difficult. And he definitely had that. Dr. Gachi Poggington. Wow. You sound like a character from a CBB show. I love it. Bradley Barcola is that versatile forward. And I'm not against the idea of us getting versatile players in. I said something about this recently about Rodrigo. You could start to do a little bit of what PSG are doing. I mean, if you're going to steal one of the players, that will help as well. But yeah, them having an attack that can do all kinds of different things is one of the strengths of that PSG side. So having a little bit more versatility in there would help, because yeah, by all accounts, Ekitike is more versatile than just the centre forward. Virt can do everything across the front line as well. We haven't seen that last season from Salah. Very much played exclusively on the right hand side. We know Gakpo again can come central. Didn't do it last year, but if you could add someone else there, like what Diaz was doing, then yeah, I think that could be a very good move. A very good move indeed. Let's have a little look. I'm pleased to see there's more praise for this jumper than there is for Darwin Nunez at this point. Bless him. Now, let me know in the comments some of your favourite Darwin memories and moments. For me, I will never, ever forget the late goals against Newcastle. Like, I was on holiday with my family in a bar in, where would I be? Somewhere in Spain. And me and my dad were watching it, and it was basically a pub full of Geordies. And they were outnumbering us significantly, and obviously that game wasn't really going to plan for us at all. And so it was like, oh God, I'd forgotten what this is like, because I don't watch footy in pubs anymore anyway. But then to do it with the fans of the other team, that's been a bloody long time as well. And then, to have Darwin just do it. And there's a reaction video, which you can probably still find on the YouTube channel, where I robbed some girls' Newcastle bucket hat and did my post-match reaction, which was very good indeed. What a moment that was. Nick Safina saying Brentford, Connor Walsh, Newcastle away, genuinely one of the best moments supporting the club. It was great, absolutely great. Mike's JH says the run from the stands with the horse racing sound in the EFL Cup final. I mean, that was it. Yeah, there's a few people saying that. Liam Bento injured Darwin jumping the advertisement boards when we won the League Cup. Yeah, it's great that those are the moments. You know, what you really want is, I think for someone like Fernando Torres, you had great goals and great moments, but there was this overriding sense of just brilliance of, so you got this warm glow of thinking about this great football that played for you, and I think it's very, very on brand for Darwin Nunez that it's individual moments of like pure energy and excitement are the things that really stand out in your mind. So yeah, good on him, and everyone here at Redmen TV would very much wish Darwin all the best. I'm going to be speaking to Paul Gorst very, very shortly. We are live at 10:30 over on Redmen Plus and here for YouTube members. So if you want to get the inside track on that deal, then make sure you head over to Redmen Plus or become a member here on YouTube. And yeah, me and Gorsty are going to chew the fat on this one. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of other things as well. The future of Harvey Elliott, whether this will trigger a move for Alexander Isak, another bid for him, and loads more besides as well. I think there's something on Bradley Backholer in there as well. So yes, please do come over there and join me. Drop a like on this, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and yeah, keep your Darwin memories coming in the comments section underneath as well. Anyway, that's it from me. Have an amazing day. See you all soon.